Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. We're going to do the Heart to Help project recipe. Before we start, Colleen is going to show the new products because she just got the Showtime order. So take it away, Colleen.
Okay. Yes, so the new Showtime is wonderful colors and can be used for so many different things. I'm not going to show you every piece of paper. Sorry for that. But you can see
that's pretty.
a large depth of color. And that's the tone on tone paper pack. And then the Showtime paper pack, woohoo, Showtime. Again, it has the same depth of color and they're a lot of fun.
Wow.
Lights, camera, action, glitter, feathers. It's just a lot of fun in the paper. But wait, there's more. The mats, the variety mats, again, I just love the colors and all the different mats. And you can do a birthday party. Actually, I had a movie themed birthday party, so I'm going to use this for my birthday. And the stickers can be used for prom. It has it can be used for marching band, just a fun night out. It really doesn't have to be star of the show. That can be anybody. That doesn't have to be that you're doing a show. But they went over the top with embellishments. And there's 2 embellishment packages with this. Here's a limo, a chandelier, like you could do prom, a dance, a wedding. Here's a lot of the, I apologize. There's 2 different embellishments packs and I opened them all, so I can't tell you which is which. Here's all the different like Art Deco type boxes. If you go to theater, the movies. Did anybody see the Downton Abbey movie? You could certainly use this to do your layout. Oh, just me that would be doing a layout about seeing the Downton Abbey movie. I actually didn't go in costume, so I restrained myself. So here's balloons, stars, a runway, movie clips, dresses, again, any type of fun event, but they just flocked. The flocked embellishments, and you have to be seen in person. That's what all these are. They have some depth to them because they're flocked, and I doubt seriously you guys are even going to be able to see what I'm talking about. They probably just look black and white, but they're actually navy blue. Trying to get it.
Are they fuzzy? They're kind of fuzzy.
They're fuzzy. They are fuzzy. So like best day ever. Trying to see if I can get the camera and the lights. The best is the background is
sparkly gold,
all the lettering is cut out of like the velvet. So I doubt you guys can actually see that, but they're amazing. And of course it comes with jewels. So instead of doing like laser borders, they did an extra set of embellishments, which is very nice. And I think that's it.
Awesome.
Thanks, Colleen, for sharing that.
Thank you.
Those are neat.
All right, so this is the Heart to Help paper pack. And so we're going to be doing the project recipe from that. And here is that. Okay, so here is the sample one that I did. So I used a different color combination than the directions here. So what you want to do is you pick your 4 pieces of designer paper and 2 are going to be the background. So use a color that is not as busy on the background. You obviously wouldn't want to do something like that on the background. So that particular color combo is these 3, these 2 in the background, and then these are the 2 that you cut up. Okay. And so that's that one. And then I'm going to try this one. This is the other color combination. And so Barely can, you can't really see it. There's little tiny speckles on this paper, and that's the other side, but that's what I'm going to use for my two bases. And so we're going to start with a piece of cardstock. And they were requesting, you know, that if you're using this paper, to use a light blue cardstock. All right, so you're just going to need your 12-inch trimmer, repositionable tape runner, regular tape runner, and your scissors. All right. So we're going to start out on number 1 here, the light blue cardstock. And so our directions say we're going to cut that at 2.5 by 12. And we're going to do that twice. Is everybody ready?
Yep.
Picture papers yet. So we're just going to cut 2.5. Two and a half. Those are going to be our base pieces. So those are A and B. And I think this project recipe is really easy, but the company was saying how handy it is to use little Post-it notes and just mark them. You know, in this case, we're going ABC all the way to T. So when you go to put your pieces together, if you put these on them, it'll be much easier for you. So our next cut is going to be at 6.5 inches. We're just cutting 2 photo mats, and we're basically just trimming off this little extra piece. So if we're cutting at 6.5, this is going to be extra. Okay, and then we're just going to turn, and we're going to cut at 4.5. So there's our photo mat, and then we're going to do another one at 4.5, and that is C and D. So what I do when I'm doing this is I put my papers that I'm going to keep to the left, and the scraps that I'm not going to use, I put to the right. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our designer paper number 1. And so you have to decide what you want yours to be. So I have these 2 as my bases, and designer paper number 1, if you look at it, E and F, those are the pieces that go across the bottom. Okay, so here you can see they use flowers. All right, so if you want to use the flowers, that's the piece of paper that you would use if you're using this color combination. You could, if you wanted to use the bigger flowers. I'm going to go, this is why I'm going to pick this piece of paper. This is just another tip for this layout. We are going to, on your designer paper number 2, you're going to be making 6 little photo mats. And I want to use this piece of paper for my photo mats because I like the dark background. So if I flip it over like that, that would not be good for photo mats, in my opinion. All right, so that's why I'm picking it this way. So this is going to be my designer paper number 1, and we're really just going to be using just a little bit of this piece of paper. So we're going to cut at 1.5. And when I cut at 1.5 on our trimmer, I like to cut it in this side because this will keep the piece of paper straighter. So we're just going to cut at 1.5 here. And if your paper is directional, let's talk about that before we cut. If you have the little heart piece of paper, I use that on this one. I wanted my hearts, if you can even see them. I wanted my little hearts going up. So if you're using a directional piece of paper, turn it this way in the cutter because it's going to end up like that when you stand it up. Okay, does that make sense? I hope. All right, mine is not directional, so it doesn't matter. Oh, wait, it might be directional. I'm going to use these for my flags. Hang on. These are going to be our flags, and I don't think it matters. I don't think my flags matter. If your flags matter, which direction, figure that out before you do your cut. So we've got 1.5, and we're going to do another 1.5. So those are E and F. E, F, left. And then it's kind of silly because they're having you cut 2 of the, it's just 1 strip. This little flag is another 1.5 inches, okay? I don't know why they did the directions like that, but you're gonna cut 1 more 1.5 inches. And while we're here, we're just gonna turn that 1.5 inches and we're gonna cut it at 6, okay? And that gives us G and H. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. You know what? While we have G and H here, I think we can cut our flags. Just gonna, this is how I cut my flags. I just fold it like so. And then I like to keep a little bit more than what they're saying because I can use those for little decorations elsewhere. So I do it about 1 inch. So these look cute at the top of a piece of paper, you know, as a little something to put a little journaling square, a little word, a little title sticker on. So I like saving those. All right, so we now have G and H already cut. Put that to the left. Now we're going to go on to designer paper number 2. And for me, it's this one. We're going to cut at 1. Is everybody caught up with me?
Yes.
Everybody good? Okay. All right, so we're going to cut again, another 1.5 inches. So we're cutting our 2 flags. So the first one is 1.5 inches. I just want to check I don't need to worry about direction on my piece of paper. So that's going to be, I'm putting it over here for now, but we're going to come back to that. But that's 1.5 inches. And then now we're going to do 1.25 inches. We have 1.5 inches and 1.25 inches. We're just going to leave those over to the side because we're going to come back to those. And now we're going to cut the 6 photo mats. Sorry, I have my cord. You guys see. So we're going to cut 6 3.5 by 3.5 photo mats. Okay. So our next cut is going to be, we're measuring at 3.5. And then what I did is I cut again at 3.5. And then I stacked these and turned. And we're going to make 3 more cuts, 3.5. Okay, so I'm cutting 2 at once and I'm stacking. So that's 3.5. So I have 2 done there. I'm going to cut at 3.5 again. Line my paper up. Okay, now I have 4, and then the last 2. And these are extra scraps. And these are all of our photo mats. I don't really think we need to alphabetize those because they're all 3 by 3 squares. They're all the same, 3.5 by 3.5. Okay, so those are the little photo mat squares. So M, N, O, P, Q, and R. All right. And so there was this last piece of paper that we have left, because we still have these two we're going to make our little flags with. But we're going to use this. You don't have to flip it over, but we're going to cut these two pieces, which are each a 1/2 inch. So a 1/2 inch by 12. So S and T, we're going to cut it a 1/2 inch. All right. And so our little cutter here is the first mark to the right of the cutting mat is our 1/2 inch mark. So there's our 1/2 inch, and I think we're going to be using this side of it. And then we're going to come over and do one more 1/2 inch. All right, and there we have our 2 1/2 inch strips, and these are S and T. So again, I think these are pretty easy to find in your stash, but if you like to have the little labels on there, that's helpful. This is the one that I think is helpful because this strip gets confused with these two. This is leftover and it's the same size, so that's confusing. So this is 1 1/2 inches that's left over, so just push that off to the side. The other two pieces that we have were the first two pieces that we cut, and we're just going to cut those in half. You can stack them. It's not imperative on the measurement here. We're just basically going to cut those in half. All right, and then you want to take the two that are the smaller ones. So these are, they're a little bit different. So our flags, we're making our little flags now. So these are going to have a little bit of a different measurement. Okay, so basically just, I kind of crease that, but I don't really like fold it really hard. I want to have a nice little flag shape here. So we're cutting in this direction. Okay. And then, like I said before, I usually leave about 1 inch so that I can keep all my little flags for little fun things later. So that's how that ends up. So that's the smaller one. I did the smaller two first. So those are K and L. And then we're going to do the same thing here. So there's two of the 1 1/2 inch ones, and we're going to fold those. I don't really crease it. I just kind of hold it just to make our little flags even. And then we just make the point of the flag like so. And so now we have all our flags. So these are I and J. And then the two smaller ones are K and L. I don't think we need to label our photo mats because they're fairly easy. The little flags, I think it's probably helpful to label. Okay, so everything is all cut and labeled. Does anybody have any questions? We're now done with our cutter. My pieces of paper just look kind of plain, but they're really a nice, let's see if I can show it in the, gonna focus. See the little speckles? It's actually very pretty for a background. I love using the paper that just, I don't know, it's kind of a tone on tone paper in my mind. But I like using those for backgrounds rather than just white. Okay. So now we're going to get our little pile of all of our stash back. And we're going to start with A and B on the bottom. So you want your A and your B on the bottom here, across the two bottoms. I'm just going to lay it out so you can see. from there, we're gonna do, and you can decide whether you want, you know, whatever side of your paper you want. You can, so we're doing E and F across the bottoms, but we could flip those and see if we like that. And I do not like that. I'm gonna go back with my flowers. And then we're gonna have these little strips. That's where I'm probably gonna do that because that does not look good. All right, so we're gonna do S and T. All right, so anyway, you decide how you want your layering to go across the bottom here, but for me, I'm just gonna start with attaching that piece of cardstock. And I just want to point out that Laura is attempting, and we'll see how it goes, but she's going to cut the bottom of her piece of paper off and flip it over and weld it. She liked the back of her other piece of paper, so we'll see how that goes. I think it will work out very well. So we're just attaching these cardstock pieces across the bottom.
While you're putting it together, Maggie's asking what embellishments coordinate with these papers.
Ooh,
Embellishments.
that is a very good question, and I will think about that while I'm putting it together. You know what? I think the new, gosh, depending on what your layout is, the sun rays for days, I think would be really pretty. Now, maybe not, you know, depending which ones, but this would be really pretty across the top, and this one.
Okay,
So
I didn't
these are
want
the
to.
laser cuts. I'm trying to think what else.
I
Those
think Imagine That coordinates some of the pages. I use some of the old Imagine That embellishments. They're also blue and yellow.
Oh, yes, yes. Anybody else have any ideas?
My ideas were Botanical Bliss.
Yes, like all of the botanical ones would be really pretty with this, like the blue ones would be really pretty, and there were blue and yellow, and then the green would, the green ones would be pretty too.
She says, thanks, she has some of those.
Yay. All right, so now we're going to go and attach the strip, and I pulled it off. So we're E and F. Right. Oh, I didn't pull it off. There it is. We're going to attach E and F across the bottom. Did I not? I did not put any adhesive on that one. Yeah, so that is a good point, Maggie, that this is just a paper pack. It was not a whole collection. The sales from this were going to the Ukrainian Relief Fund. So any of the proceeds that the company was making, they were donating those. I thought that was awesome. So there are not embellishments, but I do want to point out that I saw lots of great layouts online where people were fussy cutting around these flowers and using them as decorations around the page. And you will have some scraps left over if you wanted to do that with some of these smaller pieces and our little triangles that we made too.
Sam
Right.
also recommended Super Duper Boy.
Ah, cool. Okay, flags there. All right, so these little strips are the next ones to go. And so when I just want to point out, when I attached my little strips on mine, I had some little hearts underneath that were kind of cut, that kind of looked funny. So I went over it and hid my little pieces of hearts that got cut. So I didn't want to see these little jagged little heart pieces. So I overlapped mine a little bit there. So if you have that issue and you want to do that, you can. This pattern that I have on this one isn't going to do that, but I'm just going to lay that right across the top. Okay, now that was S and T. All right. How is everybody doing?
Great.
Okay. So the rest is fairly easy to just, these are just going across the bottom evenly. When I did mine, I lined it up and I put my ruler at the 3 and the 9. And that was how I lined mine up. To make it nice and even across. So when I attach these, and I did about, like a ½ an inch or so, maybe not quite a ½ an inch on the sides. And then just kind of line them up like so. Go ahead and do that again. I'm just gonna quickly do one side and show. Can you see? Okay, show everybody how to do the flags, and then we'll turn the recording off while everybody finishes up. There, so basically like that. And then I just, obviously, change that one over here. And I'm lining up with here and about a ½ an inch from the top over here. And then I'll do this one off camera so we don't have to suck up the video. But so now our flags. This is why we labeled, right? So we've got the I and the G and K. And then we add L, H, and J. L, H, and J. And, oops, I did it backwards. And can you guys see? Because I have a piece of paper in the way. And which one was the opposite side? Hang on. One was reversed, and that would be I and J. I and J. Okay, I do not like these two next to one another, so I probably will go like that. But then, oh, I'm going to do it this way. The bigger one's going to go in the middle. The smaller one's going to go on the side. Okay, so you or can you see? You guys can't see that. Organize your flags the way you like the colors. That's just what I'm gonna say. So I would just say, design-wise, the bigger, wider flag should be in the middle, and however you arrange the colors. Do them both the same on each side, so that, you know what I'm saying? That makes sense. This way. So if I have, so on this pattern, we had the hearts on the outside. So I have my flowers, the big flowers on the outside, then I have the blue in the middle, and then I have the smaller flowers on the inside. Okay. And then I did the same idea with this. So I had the little hearts, and then the flower, and then the blue. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Because we can finish putting this together off camera, and then just want to point out when you make your little flags. So another flag tip. The middle one should be a little bit longer. Okay, so I put that one to the top of the paper, and then these I put over, and then I just trimmed them off when I was done. The shorter ones. Are there any questions? Nope. Okay, we'll turn the camera off and we'll finish putting this together. And then
All right.
welcome back, everyone. I just wanted to share with you the final product here that I created. Just use some of the different elements from the leftover scraps to create a little journaling box, a little titling over here, and a little journal box down there. I hope you enjoyed this layout, and now we want to share with you the winners of our May challenge. We're going to do our little wheel of names.
We don't know who the winners are. We're going to just do them. All right, so let me share my screen. I should get fancy and put this to music, but not there yet.
So maybe just explain our May challenge, because I know some people did it, some people didn't, but we posted challenges every day, and people followed the prompts and took photographs of their layouts, and they were awarded points for each prompt that they used in their layouts. So that's how we came up with the wheel of names and how to do it, because everybody was awarded points for what they posted. So thanks for participating.
And I was just looking for my piece of paper that I was so diligently. So we have Phyllis Rodriguez and Deanna Lee and Laura Desange, who all met the criteria. Phyllis had the most number of entries with 53 points.
Woohoo!
Laura had 26 and Deanna had 22.
Woohoo, ladies. Great job.
Excellent. So we're going to shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. You guys can see the wheel, right?
Yes.
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 We're going to shuffle, 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 shuffle. And the first place winner is
No.
Laura.
Yay.
Yay!
That thing just kept moving. It was like,
Now, all right. And we're going to do another spin. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And the second place winner is Phyllis. Yay.
Yay.
Yay, Phyllis. And what the heck? Let's do a third prize. We'll spin the wheel. I wonder who will win. Yay, it's Deanna.
Hey, Deanna.
Hey, Deanna.
Yay. So your advisor will be contacting you to give you a prize. So thanks,
Yay.
everybody.
Thank you,
And I'd like-
ladies.
if anybody would like to share about the experience
Yeah.
of doing the challenge, we'd like to hear if you have any comments.
I thought the prompts were great.
Hey.
Good.
Excellent. Hopefully you guys got a lot done.
As much as I wished to, but that's always clear.
All right, anything else? Is it okay to stop the recording?
Yeah, we can stop the recording. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
And next week on Wednesday is our open Zoom crop. So come and spend some time and listen to some tunes and get some new things done. And we'll hear all about the conference from Colleen and Cheryl.
Ooh. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.